In today's video, I want to talk an absolutely huge remaster being pretty much confirmed on the Sacred Symbols podcast. PlayStation sage Colin Moriarty spoke a little bit about the possibility of a Demon's Souls remaster, and that's something so many gamers want, and Colin Moriarty is incredibly reliable, so I want to take a look at exactly what he said. A pretty big free-to-play game is launching tomorrow with Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2. We talked a little bit about it in our last video, but I want to give you guys a more in-depth look on the game and what to expect out of that one, and I also want to highlight the post-apocalyptic semi-open world RPG Death Trash that's been announced for the PlayStation 4, and it's coming sometime in 2020. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, as far as the Demon's Souls remaster goes, that is something that gamers would get very, very excited for. From Software in general, whenever they put out a game, that is something that's going to be a massive release. Whether it be a Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, a Dark Souls game, whether it be a brand new Armored Core, just with that From Software label, there is going to be a lot of anticipation. However, going back to 2009, Demon's Souls was such a massive release, and I can talk about the gravitas about the release of Demon's Souls because there's so much to dissect about that game, not only in the sense that it's really what kick-started the Souls series. It was a major release, sold way better than anyone had expected. It was published by Atlas, and no one was really expecting the game to explode the way it did. People were expecting it to be a quality action RPG, but the amount of popularity the game garnered over the year and spawning one of the biggest franchises in all of gaming, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. And Demon's Souls was also one of those games that released in late 2009 that showed everybody that the PlayStation 3 had some incredible exclusives. And again, we can talk about that all day. However, speaking on the Sacred Symbols podcast, Colin Moriarty admitted that he had expected a Demon's Souls remaster to be announced during this week's State of Play. He specifically said, quote, "There was one game in particular, a remaster coming out for PlayStation 4 that I thought they were going to be announcing today, but they didn't. I don't know what they're waiting for with that one. Let's just say the soul still burns with that one." Now, I know you can say he didn't say Demon's Souls in particular, but this has been something that's been hinted at quite a bit, and it was noted that Bluepoint Games is working on a brand new remaster. Now, if you guys don't know who Bluepoint is, they've worked on several compelling PlayStation 4 remastered collections, whether it be the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. They did work most notably on the Shadow of the Colossus remake, and that was even a level higher than their typical outings where they do more so a remaster. In the case of Shadow of the Colossus, that was more of a remake built ground up for the PlayStation 4, and that was absolutely incredible. If I could pick any studio to helm a Demon's Souls remaster, it would absolutely be Bluepoint, and I absolutely hope that they are working on a Demon's Souls remaster. Now, the question remains, is this going to be a PlayStation 4 game? We're kind of getting a little late in the game. I mean, you can release it as a PS4 remaster, and then it'll be playable on PS5, no problem, whatever the case may be. But at this point, I almost think that a Demon's Souls remaster would be a blockbuster launch title as a PlayStation 5 release. Make that game run at 4K, 60 FPS, whatever the case may be on that, and that would be a colossal launch title. You pair that up with another major PlayStation 5 exclusive, whether it be a new God of War or a new Horizon Zero Dawn, whatever game Guerrilla Games is working on, and those two titles as the front runners for the PlayStation 5 lineup at launch, I think that is game, set, match. You have a huge launch with those two titles, and then rounding out with some third-party offerings, that would be incredibly strong. That's just my 2 cents. Whatever the case may be on a Demon's Souls remaster, we do know that if it released on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, it would be a massive release, and I think this is the kind of remaster you could get away with a higher price point, whether it be $49.99, $59.99. It's just that iconic of a game, and a game that so many people want to revisit. Whatever the story is on this, hopefully we hear about it soon. Yes, we didn't hear about it at State of Play, but honestly, that's probably for the best. That State of Play event, I think it was a best that they centered it around The Last of Us Part 2. If you throw Demon's Souls in there as well, a remaster of that game in a 20-minute presentation, that's just a little bit too much to digest in just 20 minutes. You got all the information about The Last of Us Part 2 out there, the information that the gamers wanted to know. Now, whenever they hold another State of Play event, you want a major game to be announced. So if Demon's Souls is going to persist as a PS4 remaster, well, then the next State of Play would be the best time to announce that, maybe at the end of this year. And if Demon's Souls does end up being a PS4 remaster, if it released on the PS4, that means the PS4 still has The Last of Us Part 2. We still got Death Stranding coming in a couple months. We still have Ghost of Tsushima, although I do think that's going to be a cross-gen title. And you throw on Demon's Souls Remaster, the PS4 has still got a lot of life to it, and even though we're talking about the PS5 next year, the PS4 is still going to be kicking pretty strong for the next 12 months. Alright, next up, Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 is dropping tomorrow on the PlayStation 4, and it is going to be a free-to-play release, and Gundam making the foray to the free-to-play market, that's rather interesting, and there's a lot to dissect with this game. It notes, win battles and become the best mobile suit pilot ever. Maximum 6v6 online battles. Join players around the globe in 6v6 team online battles. Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operations 2 features the critically acclaimed land combat of its predecessor and turns it up a notch by adding all new space battles. Fight for survival with your comrades on realistic battlefields. You've got infantry battles as well. Mobile suits aren't the only heroes on the battlefield. Pilots can place bombs in enemy bases or request support fire to contribute to the cause. Sometimes infantry fights can even decide the outcome of the battle. Acquire and customize mobile suits. Spend the earned DP to develop mobile suits after battle, or spend tokens for attempts at the lottery that can award powerful mobile suits. You can also enhance your favorite mobile suits through customization. So obviously, while this is a free-to-play game, there is an era of microtransaction there, so you have to be mindful of that. It's a free-to-play game, that's to be expected. At least it's not a $60 release, and they're doing slot machine type rewards as well. You gotta take the good with the bad. You've got base camp. Interact with players from around the world in this online lobby. Become a pilot and make battle preparations such as upgrading mobile suits in the neutral base camp. In addition, you can freely interact with an assortment of battle comrades that cross your path, and it's ever-evolving. New mobile suit stages and costumes will be added to Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operations 2, while also featuring regular events. The game will keep evolving on a daily basis, and that's kind of something we've come to expect out of free-to-play games. And now we have Gundam making the foray to the PlayStation 4's free-to-play offerings. I mean, this is a pretty major IP to be offered as free. Even if you're not necessarily the biggest fan of free-to-play, Mobile Suit Gundam is an IP that a lot of people have some nostalgia attached to, so I think if you're just browsing the PlayStation Store and you're like, damn, there's a free-to-play Mobile Suit Gundam game, at the very least, let me give that a shot and see how it is, even if it's not your cup of tea right away to check out free-to-play games, and you're more of a pay-to-play guy. As a free-to-play offering, I do think this is going to garner some sort of interest. Generally speaking, the Gundam games haven't been all that great. I really can't remember the last Gundam game I thought was a real home run and a really great game. Really, I don't know if we've ever had a truly home run Gundam title. You can point at some of the Dynasty Warriors Gundam games and they were okay, but for the most part, Gundam has left a lot to be desired from a video game standpoint. But let's see how Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 turns out. I'm hoping for the best, as it is dropping tomorrow. And lastly, a game that is a ways out is the post-apocalyptic semi-open world RPG Death Trash, and it has been announced for the PlayStation 4 and it's coming to Steam Early Access in early 2020, so we're gonna get an idea of how this game is. The game itself is a post-apocalyptic world where cosmic horrors crave humanity but meets punks with shotguns. Influenced by cyberpunk, post-apocalyptic classics, science fiction, horror, and grotesque dark fantasy, Death Trash is a semi-open world RPG with handcrafted levels and a grotesque story campaign. The game features real-time gameplay with ranged and melee attacks, stealth multiple choice dialogue, an inventory full of items and flesh worms, a crafting system, and social skills like pickpocketing and puking. Travel through the gritty post-apocalyptic wasteland by world map and explore hand-painted organic locations, meet exciting characters, talk to the flesh kraken, visit the puke bar, or pickpocket stuff from the old naked guy. So obviously a little bit zany and charming in presentation. I mean, charming is a little bit subjective based on the content in this game, but nonetheless a little bit gruesome. And the game has a big emphasis on customizability. You'll be able to customize your own character through stats and making choices, experience the story and discover side quests, fight against machines and larger-than-life monsters, or become their friend. The game contains many features supporting player freedom, manual save games, dialogue that can be left at any time, kill everyone or hardly kill anyone. The story is centered around humankind travel to the stars and settled on the planet Nexus with its ancient secrets of stone and flesh. The machines were installed as protectors, but they were corrupted and brought terror. You are a raider among the ruins of the past, but fate might lead you to the bleeding head oracle, the ever-growing heart, and towards a war with the machines, giving you power to mend or destroy. Seems like the game has a lot of depth to it, and it does have a pixel art style, so to speak, and this is an art style that's been kind of done to death in gaming. However, it's something that definitely keeps me captivated, and probably fans of old school titles, that is something to check out as well. It is a cyberpunk game as well, so very interesting in that regard. It's coming to Steam Early Access in early 2020, so we'll get a general idea of how this game turns out prior to the PlayStation 4 release, but this is one that might be one to keep your eyes on, and it does look rather good and a lot of depth to its gameplay as well, and pretty interesting in premise and presentation. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, as far as remasters go, there's a ton that I want. I would love to see a Mass Effect collection. I would love to see Crysis. I could go on and on about all the remasters I want, but at the top of that list, or damn near close to it, a Demon's Souls remaster is something that I absolutely want. And speaking on the Sacred Symbols podcast, it looks like Colin Moriarty is touting that we're probably going to see it on the PlayStation 4. Maybe not all too bad of an idea to transition it to a PS5 game at this point. That's just my 2 cents. Mobile Suit Gundam is making the foray into the free-to-play market as Battle Operation 2 launches tomorrow as a free-to-play game. 6v6 online battles. If you're a fan of Gundam, this is going to be one to be on the lookout for. Gundam games, generally speaking, speaking, aren't fantastic, but they are pretty good. And lastly, the post-apocalyptic semi-open world RPG Death Trash is looking pretty good. It's coming to the PlayStation 4 sometime in 2020. One to have an eye on, as it is looking pretty good, especially if you're into those pixel graphics. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.